What's up? It's Bowtie Friday, hanging out with BuidlGuidl and BuidlGuidl builders and some hackathon, BuidlGuidl hackathon builders. We're just hanging out, showing off Scaffold-Eth builds. We kind of do this every other Friday or so. We'll have a more formal event for the hackathon winners, but this is just to show off Scaffold-Eth stuff. But I want to show this guy. Can you guys see like this little like event wallet prototype? Yeah, so yesterday, Carlos and I were talking about what if we kind of tried to pitch to Sai, the EDCON organizer, that we do some kind of like wallet or like engagement. And Carlos was like, yeah, maybe we could work on that. And then we picked up Scaffold-ETH2 and like we quested on it for about an hour and a half and like had a nice looking wallet that was like styled by the EDCON kind of thing, like a 2-hour prototype basically with Scaffold-Eth that we could, you know, use all those nice components there and send around. We deployed a token to Gnosis, and then we're sending around a token with the wallet. And it's just like a simple wallet, but it looks nice and clean, and it's a good prototype. Then I quested, let me see if I can find the other one. I quested for a little bit on like another one where you have like the same kind of stuff, but it's for different. So this was like maybe another hour and a half quest, but it's just so cool to be able to pick up Scaffold-ETH2 and just like quest on a front end and have an app that works and tinker with your smart contract. So shout out Scaffold-ETH2, and thank you, Carlos, for backseat driving. Should I copy and paste these wallets? Let me paste these into the chat. I bet we could send tokens around too. Okay. I think Shiv is next to show off. Shiv, if you want to take over, show off your build.
Yeah.
Was this an ETHTokyo build, maybe?
Yeah.
Awesome.
ETHTokyo. Is the screen visible?
Yep.
Okay.
Looks good.
So, yeah. So TLDR of our build. So we know, like we in BuidlGuidl we have teams set up to build us. So what we plan to do is we plan to take those teams powered by SuperFluid, and these teams will be real time flowing to the builders. The real time streams have some benefits, I think. So currently, how it works in BuidlGuidl is like, let's suppose, I think, right, this, I don't know if that's the true case, but let's suppose a new builder comes to BuidlGuidl, and people like the core people sees that he is contributing. So they set up a new stream fully filled initially, giving the benefit of doubt to the builder, like he will work after that. He will continue to work after the stream is set up. Like initially the stream is fully filled. So it can cause some issues, like sometimes there can be bad people who just get the stream set up and then just don't contribute at all. So currently it works very fine, but there might be the case, right? So, but if we had the real-time streams going on, what we can do is we can also pause the streams, right? And we can even delete the streams. So we add this functionality. Let me walk you through this. So initially we will first add a builder to the BuidlGuidl and set up a stream. So let's suppose, so first of all, let me show you the builder page. So this is the builder page. So currently there is one builder who has a stream set up, and it's currently 0.033 DAI per day. And then an admin can come in here and set up a stream. Let's suppose 200.8, and then he can mention the amount of monthly amount, and he can create the flow. So internally here, what we are doing is this 100 DAI per month will be passed and converted to per second. Like what will be the amount per second streamed to the Shiv Bunde. So it will be total 100 DAI in that month. And if we come to now the builder's page. Yeah, so we can see, right? The stream is set up, and you can also, so yeah, if we go to SuperFluid console too, I think we can. So yeah, so here is the new stream setup. I think so. This is the time, right? If I check out this account, so this is my account, and we can see, right? There is a new stream setup. So it's the stream is just flowing per second. We can see the DAI amount is getting updated per second. And now, yeah. So here is the main part, right? Now, let's suppose a community member in BuidlGuidl can, let's suppose she stopped working, right? He didn't turned up any work in 2 or 3 weeks. So the community member from the BuidlGuidl can also challenge to stop his stream. So this is all governed by UMA. So he can come in and make a challenge to stop Shiv stream. So he can claim to delete money. And
Don't
ideally,
do it.
while
Don't stop Shiv's stream. Keep Shiv's stream going.
so, so ideally, what should happen is while claiming to make a statement. So here he's not actually pausing the stream, but he's just making a statement like, let's just stop the stream. And ideally, while doing this, he should have staked some ETH. But for a testing purpose, we have not keep that mandatory to stake some tokens, right? And now I claim a statement on UMA that let's just stop the stream. And in either situation, what will happen is this there is a challenge period with UMA, right? There is 1 week. Ideally, we can keep 1 week challenge period. So an other guy can come in and dispute this statement. Like he can say, right, Shiv is working, I know, and he can maybe some put in some GitHub links to prove that. And while disputing this statement, he has to stake more ETH or more tokens. Let's suppose I claim to delete this stream with 10 tokens. The other guy who will be disputing this statement has to stake 20 tokens, like a larger than the amount who have made the statement. And if nothing happens after that, then all these things are settled, and depending on which statement was true, the oracle will just remove this check, and anyone can come in and stop the payment. So currently, for testing purpose, I set up the challenge period for 10 seconds. So no one challenged it, so anyone can just come in and stop his payment since there was no dispute. And once this transaction goes through,
Okay,
it
I have
should
a hot
ideally
take.
stop
I have
this.
a hot take for you, Shiv. I have a question for you. So at the
Yeah,
at the hackathon, they have a lot of sponsor prizes, and I think a
yeah,
lot of people kind of play to the sponsor prizes. And I would say in
yeah.
this one, you're definitely like connecting WorldCoin and SuperFluid. What if WorldCoin and SuperFluid weren't there sponsoring, and you had to build anything you wanted? Would it be more interesting or less interesting, do you think, than using SuperFluid and WorldCoin as what it is for a streaming thing? Like, do you think the sponsor game that hackathon builders are playing, do you think it's a creative game, or do you think it's kind of destructive? Like, where are you at with that?
We actually had a plan to use SuperFluid. I actually wanted to explore SuperFluid, and it made sense. But the other stuff, like we can see, right? Yeah, current WorldCoin, even we have push integrated, right? So they were just integrated for sponsor prizes. Uh,
The push protocol at the end is another like easy slam dunk. Oh yeah, and then we'll add
yeah,
notifications. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing is it was mostly going to need to use those sponsor prizes, and then you could add some extra ones in for sponsor bingo. But like
Yeah.
without the superfluid streaming, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you would be at the level of having to recreate your own streams or come up with your own like mechanism or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
We wouldn't have explored the sponsors, right? And we wouldn't have came to know also.
Cool, man. Awesome. It's a
Yeah,
good build.
and again, one thing, I actually really like SuperFluid. Like even I explored a lot of their docs, and they have really good experience. So I
Oh, that's
started
nice.
creating an example repo with SuperFluid. So you can, it's obviously built with Scaffold-Eth too. I missed the 2 year. So yeah, so people can just fork this repo and get started with SuperFluid. And my plan was to create this component, right? This component. So where is this
Yeah.
animation? Yeah,
The
so
like
you can
Ghostbusters
just fork,
stream.
you can just fork this repo and get all these necessary things which you need to create a superfluid app.
Could
Yeah,
you
so
paste the
that's
repo? Yep,
my
Zach said it there in chat. Could you paste the repo in so we can share it? Awesome.
yeah.
The streaming icon is this thing, the thing that always captures my eye. I saw it right, like when I saw it. Yeah, it's just like, what is that?
Also,
Cool.
I just wanted to mention the
Yeah.
thanks to Olga for this design. Yeah, so it's really an awesome design she provided us. So look at this logo, like she merged the superfluid and the BuidlGuidl logo. Yeah,
This this reminds me of so Kames has Turbo-Eth, which is another kind of starter kit similar to Scaffold-Eth,
yeah.
and his landing page looks more similar to this. And it's I feel like it's like a good, just like a landing page for a site. I wonder if maybe we should have like a home page or something in Scaffold-E2 that kind of looks like a website homepage to start with, and then the other tabs are there with the example UI kind of somewhere else. And this is more of like a landing page with like a maybe like a read hook and a write hook too. That's something I'm still kind of trying to convince Carlos of. Yeah. Okay, who's next? What do we got? I think it is Kevin. Are you up next? Take it away.
Yep. So I'll just share my screen.
And this, I think, is a Scaffold-Eth hackathon. Yep, it
Yeah,
is.
so I was about to mention, yeah. So LSD was the project basically I had built and submitted for the Scaffold-Eth hackathon, but I think we are going to, as Austin mentioned, we are going to have another basically meet where the person who was submitted for the hackathon will probably, go in depth with their projects. And the reason why I wanted to share this project right now is basically I had a few things that I wanted to discuss that I'll probably just bring it up at the end, which goes after this project. So I'll just quickly dive in. So LSD was basically the project which I used to explore Scaffold-E2, right? So LSD over here stands for liquid staking derivative and leverage staking derivative. So it's basically a DeFi project which aims to simplify investment in liquid and leverage staking for new DeFi users, basically. So all they need to do is they just head over to the website, they invest. For now, it is deployed on Polygon. So let's say they invest Matic and they'll receive some LSD tokens, which is nothing but ERC20 tokens, right? So basically, LSD over here uses 1 second, I'll just go through the contract. So yeah, LSD over here at its core is an ERC 4626 contract. So I believe ERC 4626 was approved second half of last year, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, so ERC 4626 is basically a tokenized vault standard. So the logic over here is basically the users will invest in Wrapmatic and they will receive LSD in turn, right? And the token will handle all the investing and generating the yield and stuff. So it has four major write contracts, four major write functions. I'll not get into much detail about it. I think you can just read about ERC 4626 to learn more about it. But yeah, it implements ERC 4626 and a few extra functions. So how does the investment go through? So whenever a user basically invests some Matic, what happens is that that Matic is then converted into a liquid token. So over here, it's Matic X from Stader. That liquid token is then supplied into Aave. And then from Aave, basically, we borrow some more Matic. We again switch it into Matic X and then we resupply. That's where basically leverage staking takes place. So using liquid and leverage staking, this is how the vault basically generates yield. And the reverse happens whenever you're trying to withdraw, basically. So that's what it is. And there's just a little wrapper contract that I created, which has a few gateway functions. So let's say if a user wants to invest in Matic and not wrap Matic, so they can just use the gateway function. It will just wrap the Matic and supply it into the vault. and also a few functions that consider slippage, because the main ERC 4626 does not consider slippage. It says that you might create a wrapper function around it. So I've added that too. So these are the two main basically contracts over here, and you can check it out on GitHub. It's open on GitHub to read the contracts yourself. And getting on to the interface, so yeah, I have changed the colors over here for the dark mode. So it's a bit more darker than the default SE2 theme. So homepage over here, basically simple and straightforward. Deposit, redeem, right? You deposit Matic, you deposit Wrap Matic. I've given that option over here. You can choose that. First, I'll just quickly connect my wallet. So yeah, so let's say you do not have any Wrap Matic, so you can just choose to deposit in Matic. It will show your balance. Let's say I want to deposit 1 Matic. So it will also show how much LSD will you get. We'll get on to how this is calculated and stuff. And minimum over here is basically based on the slippage. So you can set your slippage percentage, 0.51 or any custom percentage that you want. And you will receive the corresponding LSD when you click on deposit and the transaction goes through. In redeem, basically, let's say you have some LSD over here. Let's say I have 1 LSD. I can just redeem that 1 LSD. And I can receive it in Wrap Matic, or I can just unwrap it and receive it in Matic itself. So deposit and redeem are quite straightforward over here. Moving on to the main page over here, that is Vault Stats. So this is where basically the users will be able to see all the numbers. So simple, quite straightforward. Wrap Matic deposited is basically the amount of Wrap Matic deposited into the vault. Now, this is the current value. So I'm happy that it's green right now. It's positive because I've seen it go red as well. So yeah, so currently the vault is doing good. So yeah, this is basically the current value of the vault. And then it also shows the cost of LSD. So let's say you'll have to pay, currently you'll have to pay this much Matic or Wrap Matic to get 1 LSD. And down here, you can see 3 stats. These are stats from Aave itself. So as I said, that we supply Matic X to Aave, right? So this much Matic X has been supplied to Aave, and this much Wrap Matic has been borrowed from Aave. Now, the borrow percentage is basically calculated based on this number over here, which currently I have implemented it in such a way that the owner can change the borrow percentage. So that is me currently. So that's where the discussion is about to come. So, and Aave health factor, basically, I think most of you might be knowing, right? So if the health factor goes around 1, that's where basically, that's the danger zone, right? So right now is 2.73, that's quite good. And I've also added a feature where you can just disable leverage staking. So if we disable leverage staking, basically all the borrowed Wrap Matic from Aave, that will be settled down. And the only way the vault will generate yield will be through liquid staking, basically. Now, so coming on to the discussion part, right? So that, by the way, that's pretty much it about LSD, to keep it in short. So the discussion part that I wanted to have is, currently the enabling and disabling of leverage staking, the function is an only owner function, as well as the borrow percentage is an only owner function. So the discussion that I wanted to have, let's say in the future, I want to automate it. Let's say I somehow figured out a formula that is an optimum formula that will enable or disable it. So I wanted to know, like, is there sort of like a cron job thing for Web3 that could possibly, automate this, or like, how is it? Like, I wanted a push to study about this. So if that's possible, so yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Cool question. Yeah. Someone said gelato in the chat in terms of like a service that will check in. But even thinking about it less about a cron job and something automated and more like the liquidations that have to happen on Aave, right? If you create an incentivization layer in there for people, I think this would be more like a token curated registry where people would be kind of voting on their strategies, and you would somehow aggregate the strategies and pick. That that my first question was going to be how leveraged are you? And so the choice to use leverage and how much leverage to use is basically this only owner function. And you're wondering like how to basically democratize that. And I think that's a really fun problem that's being solved right now, not solved, but explored right now on Ethereum, right? We see lots of DAOs and multi-sigs and different voting and governance mechanisms, compounds, governor, and tally, and all sorts of neat products around that. So I think your open question, I think, is one that you can explore in a lot of different angles. I think this would be a fun thing to fork and have 3 different almost like characters, where one of them is like leverage Lenny is like super aggressive, and then there's like maybe like neutral Nancy who's like hanging out over here, and you like different people can invest in different ones of those, and then we kind of see how they perform over a period of time, because you could just fork this and like make those small changes, right? So I didn't answer really any of your questions, but what I'm saying is you're asking the right questions and it's the right thing to be exploring. And maybe I'll leave it open to that if anybody else wants to jump into.
Yeah, actually, one of the things that is there is, I think there was one challenge in the speedrun Ethereum, which I think takes care of this, right? You have basically use the block timestamp. And I think it was a crowdfunding challenge or something like that, where let's say people end up building up to 0.5 ETH, and after a certain deadline, if the 0.5 ETH was reached, then that is transferred, and if it wasn't, it is refunded. I think that is one of the speedrun Ethereum challenges, right? I think that approach could be used, but then again, the main objective of building this was to make it easy for new DeFi users, right? Not for major devs. Because if I'm not wrong, if there are like DeFi goons over here, like who are crazy in DeFi, they would probably not use this, right? They could do it manually. So it was more focused to the new users. So I was thinking like, apart from that approach, I wanted to know if there's some other cron job style approach that could be used. So yeah, I think I got one of the answers in the chat.
Yeah,
I think I'll
Gelato
have
is.
to explore.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Hilmar, who was on a call with Carlos and I called him Hunter the whole time on accident, who created Gelato, also made something called Arrakis Finance. And look into Arrakis too. I think it's like it uses Gelato to automate DeFi positions. So I think it'd be similar. I think the cool thing here is the forkability of this. The fact that anybody could fork this repo and adjust a couple of these settings. They could even take the ownership model out or add a different ownership model with a few lines of code and have something that uses existing liquidity and DeFi structure, but plays the game a little bit differently. And you can choose how you want the game to play within your smart contract. So I don't know. I think this is a neat build. I want to steal the screen and give you a shout out for this specific thing right here. So when I come into your app and I haven't added LSD, you had a nice little button here that's like, hey, yo, do you want to add that to your MetaMask? And that is such a just like good forward thinking UX and a smart thing to do in your app. And it makes it so much easier now that I have that added in, that I can go find it in my MetaMask. But I'm gonna double your liquidity here. I'm aping in here $2 into your DGen leverage pool. So we'll see how it works out.
LSD for the win. Let's go.
Also, like, thank you, Kevin, for the issues and PRs that you opened on the Scaffold-ETH2. Like, thank you. Those were like really useful.
Yeah, actually,
awesome.
I have a few more coming up. I think I'm free this weekend, so I'll just go ham on it. Probably.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Pipoca is next.
Hey, hello everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. I'm gonna try to speed run through 3 builds that I put together in the last few months. Okay, is that okay with everybody?
Sounds good.
All right, let me just. Can you guys see my screen? Is that too small?
We see it behind your image. Like we'd have to pin your image, but if you could, like you're sharing it on your video feed instead of doing like a share screen.
Yeah. Let me see. Hopefully I don't fumble this. Let me. Is this better?
if I could pin this, yeah, I don't know. I think pinning only works locally, right? Even if I'm recording, I don't know if my pinning will actually pin it.
Okay, let's see if I can try to change the share screen. I think this will work.
And just checking in if Beto ever showed up. I don't think so.
Can you
though.
see my screen
Yep,
now?
we've got it. Perfect job. We
Okay.
got it. Build guild profile.
All right.
Looks good.
So I'm going to go over these 3 builds that I put together in the last few months. The first one is basically random game number with on-chain NFT, SVG NFT. So the idea, let me go to it. So there's a little bit background of the idea of the build here. So basically, the idea is to come up with a speed bump for ownership. So if you want to acquire any asset or utility, which in this build would be the NFT, you would need to basically try to get a prime number between 1 and 100 from drawing a random number. And if you get the number right, you get some of the money that's inside the contract. But if you get a prime number, you get that NFT, right? And this is the generative NFT, animated NFT that I put together. That's basically it. So the events here. Okay, I can. So in the interest of time, I'll go to the next one. Does anybody have any questions about this? About this one before I go to the next one? No? Okay. So the next one, it's actually not as, oh, so here's the code, by the way, if anybody's interested for the first build, for the random number build, I'm using Chainlink, right? It is heavily commented. So if anybody wants to dig through and figure out VRF2 for the first time, could help. So let me go here to, it's blocking my view. How do I? Oh, sorry, there it is. Sorry about that. So the second app is actually a tax app that draws information from Etherscan and Binance. It gets your normal and your internal transactions, and it has a lot of assumption. It's very limited, but ideally I'm still adding some features where it's going to give you more information. For what it is now, it definitely helps you will help you save some time checking the accuracy of the data that you're using to do your taxes, right? So it doesn't do tokens yet, it doesn't do NFTs yet, but we'll do your Ether transactions, and you can use ENS. Hopefully this will work on the live show, right? Sometimes it doesn't when it's live. So I have added my wallet. I can look up the transactions and we'll pull the, like I said, the normal transactions. We'll look at the Binance historical API for the Ethereum USD price. We'll put it all together. We'll compute your potential gross income from inflow of Ethereum transactions, and for all your outflow transactions, it will keep a running tax basis, right, from one transaction to another, and calculate the potential realized tax gain or loss that you would have on an outflow, right?
Since this is a live app, you should paste the URL too. Be pasting the code and URL for these, so we can include them in the talk.
I'll do that. So all the information's here. I have a newer version that I'm running locally that shows this information in a way that's easier to digest, and you can download a CSV, right, of the information. So again, at the point that it is currently, it's only going to help you save time checking the base information that your accountant is using for calculating your taxes, right? It might not do the whole job yet, but ideally in the future, if anybody wants to test this and give me feedback, because for now, I'm the only one looking at this, so it would be great to get some feedback. So
would it
very
detect
quick-
that $2 that I just aped into Kevin's DeFi protocol?
It should. So, but one of the limitations is that it doesn't go as far as your wallet, right? There's something wrong with the Etherscan API for the older transaction that the API doesn't flag transactions that fail. So it's like when I pull everything, the balance doesn't match because some transactions should have been disregarded. I'm trying to work on that, but it would show, right? So if it's a wallet that started on or after January 1st, 2019, it should work for the app. I blocked older wallets for now. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Any other questions about this? Can I go to the next one? All right. So the next one is actually what I put together for the hackathon. It's a fun build. It was in the spirit of a 2-day build. I put together a Tic-Tac-Toe game that can be played with 2 players. You join the game, you make moves. If you win, you get a SVG NFT with the state of the game that you won, right? Does it work if I play a video? It's like 2 minutes.
Yeah, the video you put it together well. You should. Yeah. Let's see if the audio works. As long as the audio works, this will be funny.
Let me know if it works.
I don't think so. I don't think the
No?
audio is working. Nah, dang it.
All right.
Because they're like having a conversation, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I'm not gonna be able. I don't think I'll be able to figure out how to make it work. But you
Yeah,
guys
just
can
drop
check
the
out.
video.
Check out
Drop the
video
link to the
in
video.
link.
It's good.
And that's it. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, guys, for the opportunity. And I'm very happy with everything that you guys are doing. Shout out to Scaffold-ETH2. I had a blast because it had been, because I was doing the tax app. It had been a while that I was playing around with Scaffold-ETH1, and so I jumped into 2. It was very easy. It was a lot of fun, and I can definitely see all the hard work that you guys been putting on.
Freaking TypeScript, man. I get angry at it, but it's really nice, dude. It's so cool. It's like with the combination of TypeScript and AI, basically, like just guessing what I want. It's like, yes, that's a thing. Yes, that's a thing. And then when I get into a place where I don't know what I want, I can like open up a thing. It's like, here's your options. It's good. It's good. I'm gonna share this wallet one last time. I think it's here. Yeah. So if you paste an address, so if you guys go to, what was the name of the event wallet? Let's see if I can send a couple of these around. I wonder if I could even send it to that one, but this one here. Let me paste this wallet into chat real quick. Jump on there and get your address and then paste it into, oh, I think Avalis has a question maybe. Yeah, if you got your hand raised, definitely jump in, unmute, say whatever, say what up. Well, I'm going to be sending some of these gem tokens that I made on Gnosis to people who paste their event wallet address into the chat, but feel free to speak up, Avalis. Maybe it was just
No, it was just a mistake. It was just a mistake.
Oh, okay. No hand up. All right. Dude, I realized yesterday that if I hold my like thumbs up in a picture, it was like detecting it and throwing a thumbs up emoji. I can't get it to do it now. Seriously, I thought I was going crazy, but it actually worked. Okay, here we go. I'm sending them out. Let me share my screen again. Where was it? Right here. Yeah. I got 22 of them to give out. So let me get the chat going here. Here we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, it's not going to be. All right, here we go. Send in one to Carlos. Send in one to Damu. Oh, I'm not going to be able to spam this. Let's see if it. Oh, man, I'm not going to be able to make fast transactions. So eventually when we want to make this like a event wallet, well, we're figuring out ways. Also, this token is an ERC20 on Gnosis, but you don't have any gas in your wallet. So if you try to send this one out, it's not going to work either, which is kind of like something we have to do behind the scenes. I think we'll have to set up like a gas dropper or something that's just like watching for people that has this token and then drop gas to them. But then you can always attack that by just sending that token to a bunch of accounts and draining it. There goes Damu's. All right, sending to Shiv now. Is it working? Is it showing up in the wallet, Carlos or Damu?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Oh man, I don't have enough to send to everybody. You guys are all going to have one gem on Gnosis. It's just a random ERC20. All right, it's going to take me a little bit, but it is sending. Everyone's getting it. That's good to hear. All right, I'm probably going to stop the recording. Thank you all for showing up. Anything else to throw on the Bowtie Friday recording? Oh, ooh. All right, hearts on charts, stopping the recording. Thanks for coming.